Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya. Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pongam langayate gram. Kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatare. Hare Krishna. The devotees today have the other assignment. We will do a quick discussion. Let us see if anyone has any questions. No questions, and we'll discuss an aspect which we discussed this week. Anyone would like to ask any questions? Would like to comment? Let us wait for some more time. Would like to ask anything? Okay. Okay, yesterday, day before yesterday, since 3 days we've been discussing Senaya Rubayor Madhya Radam Sthabidam Achada. You'll do it is one thing. So we need to consider, we need to understand that bhakti is very, very superior thing. How much superior is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually forgetting his position. That means is really acting, not acting, is living in that moment. Is a friend of Arjuna. So when we actually see that, should understand that this process is very genuine and unique process. That our situation, circumstances, let's say there are various situations and circumstances in our life. They do not have to do anything with bhakti. But those situations and circumstances, we get impacted through that, definitely. We feel the presence of it, we get impacted to it. But how much and however we are impacted through that, that much we are affected in practicing devotional service. Very important. For example, if a sadhaka, one second. For example, if a sadhaka is going through a difficult situation, and then through the difficulty, his chanting or hearing is actually impaired. So we need to understand that. One second, I don't want. 1 second. Please give me 1 second. So, dear devotee, the situation which I was thinking, and how much it is connected to the discussion of how Arjuna is asking Krishna to put him into the center of the battlefield. Up until that point of time, there is no issue. He has no concern. But later on, through that situation where he is being kept, he faces a difficulty. And that difficulty will eventually lead him into a state where he is completely surrendering to the Lord. So that means what is happening? The difficulty is actually a blessing in his life. Now Arjuna has been kept in that state. No, not that Arjuna was not kept in the difficult situations before, he was. But this is a special case where our Srila Prabhupada very beautifully mentions that Lord personally intervenes into the pure devotees and then put them into those states so that the beautiful qualities which are there is manifested. See, up until that point of time, there is no hope and shape, dear devotees, in this world. We kind of think that whatever we are doing, the this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra will actually take us to the other side. But we don't think that how this process is actually implemented. How am I chanting? Now, Arjuna is being kept in that state. Krishna will never keep us in that state because we do not have that kind of attitude or that kind of conviction in our heart that we cannot perceive that. Lord will not give difficulties to us, that kind of difficulties. It is being given only to those personalities, not to us. Because he knows if he gives those difficulty to us, we get bewildered in this world. Because this world is designed like that. It's a process of two dualities. That means sometimes there is profit, sometimes there is loss. Sometimes there is happiness, sometimes there is distress. Sometimes there is acceptance, sometimes there is rejection. The jiva is continuously kept in this state again and again, birth after birth, life after life. But thus the jiva is never realizing that his real identity is to really connect to the Lord. That means that is the reason why we began the conversation that today's situations and circumstances is not related to what we are actually practicing. What we are actually practicing is something else. It is not part of this. But the thing is, through our conviction, what we feel that this is actually part of this. But technically, it is not part of this. Whatever bhakti you are doing, that is bhakti. That means, irrespective of our situation, sadhaka has to practice this science. I've seen many situations, devotees, aspiring devotees, who really want to practice. Through their difficulties, what happens is they leave. Sometimes husband is not supportive, sometimes wife is not supportive. If one person wants to practice, the other person is pulling the other person. Then what happens immediately? The person who is actually practicing, he will no longer practice. That means a difficulty came into his life because material nature will not live. Material nature will actually work. So through the difficulty, what is happening? Husband says, no, you shouldn't do any of those things. Then they simply leave or stop the process. Please understand. That means the process of bhakti is not that, but the thing is, the moment we realize this, we leave the process itself. Please understand. Up until this point of time, we realize that this about bhakti, this is so important. At that moment, by that time we come to that state, we are away from the science of Krishna consciousness. Now, is that good or bad? It is totally bad. Please understand. Now, this is very important. What is the situation? A situation, a difficulty is coming, but before the difficulty is coming, the conviction in the heart is not yet established. That means the platform is not been displayed. When the platform is not there, then there is no question of practicing. Please understand. Now I'll take another situation. For example, if both are practicing, husband and wife, you know what happens after some state, complacent. That means we don't progress, but we actually digress. How the person doesn't know that we are digressing? He's thinking that they're actually chanting Hare Krishna, but the taste asakti is not established. Why? Because when they are connected to the process, they never understood that in which way the process has to be taken. When we do not understand in which way the process has to be taken, then at that moment what happens? We glide down. There's only two things you do, either progress or digress. You do anything. If you're trying to sell your car, one day the price is more, one day the price is less. Depends on the market condition. It's not on the same state. Exactly this is what is happening. That means the sadhaka will either progress or digress. He cannot stay in one state. That means the sadhaka continuously has to do this practice. Now, if something has to be done continuously, a question will come, how is that we do this continuously just like Arjuna or Srila Prabhupada, just like pure souls they do it. How is that we come to that state? Because until the sadhaka comes to that state, he cannot do it. That means he should be convinced that he is really my master. Krishna is really my father. Krishna is really my everything. My spiritual master is everything to me. Their words are everything to me. When we are convinced with that state, then what happens? Greatest difficulties will be removed easily from our life. Today, remember, a spiritual master is sharing something in our group, stating that sharing a heart of a devotee. Now, to that devotee, he was married couple of years back. I went to that marriage. Now, up until this point of time, the husband and wife they're staying at different places because he is doing his service, she is doing her service. They're so absorbed in their service. They don't feel to come together and then have a bodily relation. They don't. Now, when the spiritual master is telling, now you should have children. Now that boy is like 22, 23-year old. That boy is writing a letter stating that, oh, I cannot do this. So you're engaging me in this service, but I cannot do. My heart is not accepting the consciousness which you gave. I cannot go and then do this service. That means they're so much out of this bodily conception that they don't want to engage in the bodily consciousness again. But as a service, he did it just to please the spiritual master and the Lord. As a service, he did it. He did that Garbhadan Samskar. Now, this is exactly 6, 7 years back when I first met him. I found another devotee as an example. where he was also or she was also in this similar situation. Then I felt, Are baap re, this is what our acharyas are telling. This is what Srila Prabhupada is telling. Then I jumped onto his association. That was the first thing they did about it. When I first started hearing from him, this is what been discussed. How do we come out of this sense gratification? How do we develop loving relationships? How do we aspire for pure devotion? This is the only thing actually. Please understand. And now after 6 7 years, we don't force to do sense gratification in our life. Please understand. 1 second, read out. 1 second. So those things, after practice of Krishna consciousness under his guidance, it gave us so much hope that there is so much to be done other than sense gratification in one's life. Engage in pure devotion service, trying to please the acharyas. This is a life in soul absolute. Why only brahmachari should practice Krishna consciousness? Grihasthas can also practice Krishna consciousness. But to practice Krishna consciousness in Grihastha, we should actually learn how to come out of these practical difficulties in our life. Now, definitely, more than brahmacharis, Grihasthas will get difficulties. That is good actually for us. Brahmachari has his own difficulties. But as we have a family, we'll have greater difficulties. That's why sadhaka should be more Krishna conscious. He should be more careful if he's in the life of grihastha. Please understand. That's why a lot of people will say Krishna consciousness is only for the devotees who are stay in the temple, or Krishna consciousness is only to those personalities who are brahmachari, or Krishna consciousness is only those persons who took vanaprastha, or Krishna consciousness is only to those persons who are sannyas. No, why grihastha? Grihastha should not be. That means the process of shana is what? Changing our consciousness from grihamedi to grihastha. That means openly one should actually discuss the problems. Openly one should actually deal, try to understand the situation. Because you get problem with your son, you get problem with your husband, you get problem with your daughter. How do we deal with that? How do we come out of that? This we need to pursue more. Because more than Shastric understanding, one should actually try to know how to come out of these practical situations in our life. That doesn't mean that Shastric understanding is not good. No, Shastric understanding should be there. But if the Shastric understanding is not helping in our current situation, then what is a that means you learned so much scriptures, but you cannot apply those scriptures in one's life. Let's say there is a difficulty, you cannot apply that scripture in life. Then the scriptures will remain scriptures and our life will remain life. That means scriptures will not be combined into our life. Please understand. That means the scriptures and the life should be correlated. They should go. That action one should actually pursue in one's life. Otherwise, just like Arjuna is bewildered, every jiva who comes to Krishna consciousness, he will be bewildered, but he doesn't know what to do through that bewilderment. Just like Arjuna learned, he took shelter of the Lord. We should actually learn. We should actually take shelter of pure souls. We should actually take shelter of the words of Srila Prabhupada. Then try to apply those, try to see how these teachings can be applied in our life. Because if you know how these teachings can be applied in our life, then that is the greatest, then that will give you that conviction. Please understand. Conviction will come through that. How conviction will come? How surrender will come into our consciousness? How conviction will come? How conviction and surrender is coming into our consciousness is slowly we are actually applying those teachings in our life. Just like Arjuna is seeing that situation, oh, there is Bhishma here. There is Dronacharya here. They're my teacher and grandfather. How can I kill them? It's a very valid statement. Don't we think that we will also get that kind of situations in our life? Not exactly like that, but we will also get similar situations. Now your daughter is going to the school. Somebody gave your daughter something which is not prasad. Now, how the daughter or the son should be trained in their life, that if somebody is giving something, they shouldn't take it because you are not there, but your daughter should not take it. There are two things at that scenario. The daughter accepting that non-prasad and then eating, and then the doctor and then the daughter she's rejecting it. Now, what inspiration or motivation she's getting at that moment, so that she's not accepting that. Please understand. That means she has to remember someone who is very dear to her heart. And that person from the heart should tell, oh, you know what, you shouldn't eat this. Then through that, when she hears that voice from the heart, that yes, I shouldn't eat. Well, Krishna sitting in the heart is Paramatma, right? So Paramatma representative, his words are taken to the heart, then what happens? The words of Acharyas, when that is taken to the heart, then what happens? Those things will actually come during that time. That means that person should actually remember those things at that time. Otherwise, that person will simply take that and then he will eat. That means at that moment also we should actually, because that moment only we should remember the Lord. Yet karo siddhasna ho siddhada, say whatever you do, whatever you eat, wherever you go, you always remember me. No, this consciousness should be established. Otherwise, how can the child will not fall prey to that material natures? Because material nature is also working. Don't we think that the material nature is not working to our children? No, it is working to our children also. That means they are also impacted. That means they should be protected. Yes, definitely they should be protected. They're going to the school. They're meeting so many materialistic people. Don't they have to be protected? They have to be protected. They have to be protected means they should be given that higher consciousness. They should be given that higher consciousness means they should hear, they should understand. No, if they are not hearing, if they are not understanding, then can they perceive? No, they cannot perceive. That's why we say that this Krishna consciousness is impractical. I've been hearing a lot of people, a lot of devotees, aspirants, they say, oh, it's everything is not practical, Baba. Whatever is practical, you do that. Oh, 16 rounds is not practical. Do four rounds. 4 rounds is practical. Oh, following four regulative is not practical. Do follow two regulative principles. Oh, I'm initiated also. That's okay. You are initiated. Nah. No, who is asking you whether you're chanting 16 rounds or not? You can reduce it. This is what the mind will tell actually. Because if the sadhaka is not doing Shravana, is not giving importance to Shravana Kirtana, is and not applying the truth in his life, then what happens? These things will come. I know so many devotees, they say, I'm very busy, cannot hear. I'm very busy, I cannot develop a relation. I'm very busy. I have so many things to be done. Are the donkey in the street, she's also very busy. Do you see ants in the street? Aren't they busy? Though they're so busy collecting sugar. One time, in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, an ant will come, trying to eat some sugar. And then the Lord laughs. And then Lakshmi Devi begin asking Vishnu, Supreme Personality of Godhead, asking, oh, why are you laughing? She says, this person is Indra in his previous life. Now he became ant. You see, he's so absorbed in his work. He wants sugar. Now he's eating that sugar. They're so busy in sense gratification. If they're so busy in sense gratification, do they have time for Krishna? Oh, they do not have any time. I only have time to chant some rounds, but I do not have time for anything else. Oh, Prabhupada said Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard every day. That is in the books, Baba. It's not to us. It's a persons, the people who are there in the temple, it's for them only. It's not for who said that? Who said that? That means we put so many bandages in around Krishna consciousness. And whatever is convenient to us, I practice that. Whatever is not convenient, I'll not practice. Or if it is not convenient, I'll not hear. If it is not congenial, oh, I have a problem. I'll not chant today. Oh, you have a problem today? Are you eating? Are we not eating today? Because there is a problem? We never say that. Because we have to eat. That means we give more importance to eating, not to chanting. We give more importance to eating, not to hearing. That means what are we trying to establish? What are we trying to do? What are this? Why these things are happening? The only thing I see, because there is no proper association, number one. Number two, no relationship. You see a foster child who's in the street, he can eat anything what he wants. If he has some money, he can eat anything. He can smoke, he can drink, he can watch a woman. If there is a possibility, have some relationship with her. He can do whatever he wants. This is a foster child. He doesn't have any parents. But if a child who has a parent and that child has a relationship with the parent, will he do that? He will immediately jump from that place. He will immediately go. Because he knows if I do this, my father will not be happy. I'll not do this. Just like Arjuna, he will tell Krishna, oh my dear Lord, how can I do this? Initially he says, how can I fight? Later on he says, how can I do this? How can I do quitting this place? I will not go from this place. I will do whatever you say. I will fight for you, my dear Lord. I was thinking about Jad Bharat. Very interesting. Now Jad Bharat knows everything. He's a spiritual master. He knows the Shastras. He studied everything. Not in this life, in the previous life only. And he has a remembrance of everything. Which is the mercy of the Lord. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir gnanam apohanam. That means he'll give remembrance, he'll give forgetfulness also. That means if you're straying away from him, he'll give forgetfulness. If you are within that limit, he will give that remembrance. Please understand. Because this is the nature of this particular person. The Supreme Person is very unique. If the Jiva is actually desiring, the Jiva will get all the intelligence to remember. Today, a devotee was asking a spiritual master a question, very interesting question. What is the question is, I'll tell that question, but before, it's already time. Don't even realize. Okay, we'll discuss this question tomorrow only, not today. But let me tell about Jadabharat and then conclude. Now, Jadabharat, he knows everything, but he is not acting on that plane. Why is he not acting on that plane? Is he like stubborn or is he thinking that all these people are foolish or foolish people? No, not that. Why is he like that? Why is he not reciprocating? Why is he not speaking up? Why is he not telling, oh, you need to practice Krishna consciousness, you need to be, you're not this body, you're a powerful spirit soul, and then you need to actually work on that plane. You're the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord's devotees. He's not telling any of those things. He's simply quiet. Now we understand the greatness of this personality when he's actually discussing with Rahugan Maharaj. When Rahugan Maharaj is there, at that moment what is happening is Jadabharat is actually speaking to Rahugan Maharaj. And not on a lighter note. He's actually questioning him. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You're a king. You should be like this. Why are you like this? He's directly questioning. That means he's speaking only when it is required. He's not speaking at other places. He's Jada. Whatever is my service, I'll just do. Simply, I'll stay there. If you want me to do that service, I'll do that. If you want me to do this service, I'll just do that. No gossiping. No gossiping. I'll not speak ill about anyone else. Whatever service is there to the spiritual master, just do it and then come to the side. It is a mood, that is a consciousness. Now, Jadavarat is so convinced in his heart and heart that I missed 2 lifetimes. I don't want to miss another lifetime. He understands the gravity of this material nature. Dear what is the material nature is very powerful. Please understand. Very, very powerful. We cannot perceive her. She will put us in different situations by wasting our valuable human form of life. The sadhaka should actually understand that. Very important. Very, very important. So this thing we need to think about it. He is only doing what is necessary, not doing anything else. He's not doing gossiping, he's not doing this. Oh, that devotee is not coming, this devotee is not. Oh, why is this devotee leaving? Why is that devotee coming? No discussion. There's a service to me, I'll just do it. There is no service, keep quiet. Simply, unnecessarily, we shouldn't agitate the other person's consciousness. No, the person should change. If you have a relationship, talk to him. If you have more relationship, ask him to hear every day. Bring him. That is not there. Stay in the side. But before that has to be done, we should understand the importance of hearing. Please understand. Otherwise, how will we bring the other person? We cannot bring. That means we should understand the gravity, magnanimity of this hearing process. Because the more we hear, what happens? The more we want to surrender. The more we want to take the teachings of Srila Prabhupada to the core of the earth. Prabhupada says, our devotion begins only after surrender. Now, if you see, Bharat Maharaj is actually surrendered only. But still, he didn't go to the spiritual world. He gave up everything. Still, he is not going. Why? You see the reason, right? Attachment to something other than the other than the Lord. Attachment to something other than the acharyas and their teachings is bondage in this world. Karma bandhana. They are bounded to that. And the same bandhana is actually binding us life after life. Please understand this. Same bandhana only. Not any other bandhana. This bandhana only. Attachment. This is the one which is actually binding us in this world. That means we have a wife, children, everyone has to be seen by the vision of the Lord only. Now, how Lord will see them? You should see them like that. Do we see Lord using them? No, that means we should also not use them for our own purpose. Do we see Lord cheating them? Lord doesn't cheat them. Do we see the acharyas being envious to them? No, they are not. We should also not be that. That means whatever they are doing, we should try to do exactly in those lines only. Because that is our heart. That's how we are actually protected. Hare Krishna. We go to the hard stop. I'll stop. Anyone would like to ask anything or share anything quickly? We'll move forward. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Please tell.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, with this verse, Senayor Udayor Madhye, the Lord is completely, serving His own devotee, and you are telling us how to be pure so that we can also have the Lord on our side, just like Arjuna is having the Lord, where he's telling the Lord to take him to the middle of the battlefield. Thank you so much for the heavy class. Actually, it's very good to make sure we are not deviating from the process and following it as best as possible, so that we can one day become a pure devotee like Arjuna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That is the hope actually. When we serve them, we'll become like them. When we please them, we'll become like them. Simply we have to please them. That is our aspiration. And that is the hope actually in this world. Through our pleasing them, then we get taste to the holy name. To our pleasing them, then we get taste to Krishna Katha. To our pleasing them, then we will get all the reflections and realizations. And that reflections and realization will take us to the next level. And that is our service. That's what we should aspire for. We don't know when we will leave this body, dear devotees. Really, we don't know. We should make some minimum arrangement to lead a life. But one should not be too deeply absorbed in this material life. That will be a problem actually. Because this problem is not there for brahmacharis. This problem is there for us only. Because we have an opportunity, we have that opportunity to either progress or degress. Wherever we are taking association, whatever we are doing, however we are leading our life, they all matter, they all impact our consciousness. We don't realize, but it is impacting our consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhupada
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada went through so many difficulties, but he never left the words of his spiritual master. Yes, Swami Amma, please tell.
Prabhuji, on other day you said something about like attachment um, to the spiritual leaders. Is that is the right way you're saying, right, Prabhuji? I missed that point. I
One should be attached to spiritual personalities, definitely. One should find that spiritual personality, we should be attached to them. We should develop a relationship with them. We should hear from them every day. We should find those personalities. Through that association, what happens is we will also get their qualities. We will also try to understand what is really important in our life. Because we've been given, Lord has given us so much. Why am I not happy in this world? These questions will come into our consciousness. When these questions will come, when we are hearing continuously. I remember by the association of my spiritual master, what comes into our consciousness is there is nothing else other than Krishna consciousness in this world. Whatever we are doing, it's for that only. So we should see if that is the word, we should see. Oh, am I getting happiness here? Am I watching a movie? Am I getting happiness there? Am I eating something else? Am I getting happiness through that? Am I doing something else? Will I be able to be happy? Am I engaging something? Or I bought a new home? Will that gives me happiness? These are the questions which we need to answer. Then what happens is slowly we'll understand. अरे यार इधर कुछ भी नहीं है. There is nothing here. Simply I'm wasting my time. Why am I wasting my valuable human form of life? There's nothing here. कुछ भी नहीं है इधर. That realization. The more we get distaste to this material world, then through the distaste we will get connected to spirituality. Because Arjuna had a problem, that's why he turned towards the Lord. Arjuna had a difficulty, that's why he surrendered. If there is no difficulty, Arjuna would never have surrendered. Arjuna would have continued, oh Krishna, how can I do this? How can I do that? I will tell them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'll quickly stop here. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. I know you have a hard stuff, but I just want to show gratitude. Thank you so very much. Beautiful points discussed on the situations that we would be put in, irrespective whether those situations have nothing to do with bhakti. But at that point of time, if we are truly dependent to our spiritual master, his heart and Krishna's heart is one at the same. So Krishna reminds us at that point of time through the spiritual master's words.
Actually, through that you get so much conviction in the heart.
Yes,
You
Prabhuji.
actually see their presence. You will actually feel their presence. That means your Krishna consciousness will be actually real Krishna consciousness. That means it's a dynamic process. Krishna is there. It's not, Krishna is not in the books. He's there. He's there in the consciousness. He's there with you. Srila Prabhupada is there with us. Our spiritual master is there with us. They are there with us. When we feel that they're there, do we ever commit anything, any sinful activity? No, we will never do. Do we ever miss our rounds? No, we will never miss our rounds. We'll do it. We'll do it for their happiness. Hare Krishna. That's why a strong relationship has to be developed. Dear devotees, I've heard from so many speakers before. I met my Shiksha Guru. He's very unique. He's definitely very unique personality. He represents the Acharyas. I'm so much indebted to him. I'm grateful for his association. If he is not there, I wouldn't have practiced Krishna consciousness up until this point of time. That means I'll be there, but I will not be practicing. I'll be just staying or roaming there in the surface or doing some service, thinking that I'm Krishna conscious, thinking that I'm understanding everything. The moment I think that I understand everything, that is also a puffed up false ego, showing that, oh, I know so much. I can also quote shlokas. I can put the other person down through my shlokas, through my intelligence. What is that? Is that devotion? It's a pride actually. Just like Indra, he doesn't want anyone else. He should be worshipped. Now that mentality will come into consciousness. That means what is happening? Spirituality, when it is mixed with materialism, this is what happens. That's why you see quarrel in devotees also. Why? This is the reason. Because nobody wants to be inferior. Nobody wants to. They hate the word inferior. They say you should be inferior, but he doesn't want to become inferior. Trinadapi Sunicana is for the other person, not for us. Because I'm speaking now, it's not for me. I'm superior. I'm speaking now. This is the greatest falsehood actually. The person who's actually speaking, he should become Trinadapi first before he tell that Trinadapi to the other person. Otherwise, the other person is not impacted actually. For example, if I have so much money, this, that, so many, all the wealth of this world, and then I say, you surrender to Krishna, you give up everything, you give Dana Jana Sundari, I'll use it in the service. Is that not cheating, dear devotees? It is actually cheating because you're not inspiring the other person. What are you doing? You're actually getting, mujhe de. Asking donation. Are you don't know you don't know he's in which situation, which circumstances. Now you're asking all of these things without any relation. What is that? Is that not cheating? You should inspire the other person, then he will give. If he is not giving you, whatever Krishna gives, that is happy. That is the greatest thing. Dependency. There's so much actually. Krishna consciousness is a very deep science, dear devotees. It's a very deep science. We should learn this science. We should learn. We should see how is my consciousness, how is my false ego coming. So now check this. We should be grounded. So somebody is telling you are not a devotee. Yes. Who said I'm a devotee? I'm not a devotee. I am also telling I'm not a devotee. Who said I'm a devotee? I'm not a devotee. I'm trying to be a devotee. I want to please my spiritual master through some service. That's all. Who said I'm? We're not a devotee. Now we should never proclaim ourselves as devotee. There's so many anarthas. We should actually work on those things. Somebody is telling us devotee, oh, this is greatness. He's telling us a devotee. We are not a devotee. We should take this core to the heart, just like Arjuna took. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.